Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master, and today we're diving deep in the House of David Season 2, Episode 3, a chapter full of betrayals, divine ironies, secret schemes, and one mysterious ambush that changes the royal family's course forever. Last week's episode ended with David's reward for defeating Goliath, command of 1,000 men, and the promise of marriage into King Saul's royal family. Naturally, David assumed his bride-to-be would be his beloved Mychal. But in classic Saul fashion, things took a shocking turn when the elder princess, Mirab, convinced her father to choose her instead. Episode 3 picks up from this emotional chaos and layers on even more royal intrigue, with a brutal attack, a mysterious prophecy, and deep fractures forming inside Saul's palace. Eshbaal's return and a dubious tale. The episode opens with Eshbaal recalling his exile, a journey that supposedly transformed him from a disgraced prince into a wiser, humbler man. But the story he tells his father sounds a little too perfect. Eshbaal claims that during his exile, he was captured by a group of black-robed men who tortured him and demanded loyalty to their leader. Rather than submit, Eshbaal insists he heroically killed his captors and escaped, freeing other prisoners along the way. Sounds brave, right? But the show cleverly refuses to show us any flashbacks to back this up, unlike earlier parts of his story that were visually confirmed. This detail makes it clear that Eshbaal's tale is suspicious. Is he lying to regain his father's favor, or hiding something darker about his time with the mysterious group? Saul listens without much expression, clearly preoccupied. When Eshbaal finishes, he insists he's a changed man, someone ready to rejoin court life and support his father's reign. He even confesses that during Saul's rumored death in battle, he briefly crowned himself king of Israel. His goal? To prove honesty and loyalty by bringing it up first. But Saul is no fool. He already knew. Saul reveals that he had heard about Eshbaal's attempt to seize the throne, and the revelation doesn't sit well. To him, it wasn't a noble attempt to stabilize Israel. It was a blatant betrayal. He accuses his son of waiting like a vulture for his crown, and warns him never to repeat such arrogance again. The king's fury doesn't stop there. Later, he confronts Queen Ahinoam for keeping Eshbaal's self-coronation a secret. Both mother and son blame each other for not telling him, revealing how fractured their communication really is. And just when you think the family drama can't get worse, Saul exposes another secret Ahinoam has been hiding.
I told you not to lie to me. And yet here we are again.
Ahinoam's deception and the priestess of Baal. Back in Season 1, Ahinoam's growing fascination with the priestess Basai led her down a dangerous path. She had aligned herself with the cult of Baal and even altered Israel's religious laws behind Saul's back, using his thumbprint while he was sick and unaware. Now, that deception finally catches up to her. Saul learns the truth from a palace servant named Kazia, and the confrontation is explosive. Furious that his wife has undermined both his rule and Yahweh's laws, Saul forbids Ahinoam from leaving the palace. He even orders that Kazia accompany the royal family to the tabernacle instead of the queen, publicly signaling his distrust. This punishment humiliates Ahinoam and plants a seed of hatred towards Kazia. You could feel the tension brewing. The queen's pride is wounded, and Kazia's loyalty to Saul has made her an enemy in the royal household. But Ahinoam is not one to sit idle. She decides to remove the source of her downfall, the priestess Basai.
Say a word to no one. I will find you and I will kill you.
The murder of Basai. Knowing that Basai could expose her betrayal at any time, Ahinoam orders her loyal commander, Abner, to take care of the priestess. Abner reluctantly accepts, though it's clear he's uncomfortable with the mission. Ahinoam tells Basai to leave the city for her own safety, but secretly sends Abner to kill her on the road. When he finally confronts Basai, Abner's conscience wins. He spares her life and tells her to flee Israel forever, promising to lie to Ahinoam that the deed is done. Unfortunately, Ahinoam knows him too well. Predicting that Abner might hesitate, she sends Joab, Abner's ruthless second-in-command, to follow them. Moments after Basai believes she's free, Joab strikes from the shadows and kills her. This murder will have consequences. When word reaches the palace, Abner will be trapped between guilt and loyalty, and Ahinoam's manipulations will deepen. Her quiet power over the men around her is becoming one of the show's most sinister dynamics.
Only ask that you reconsider.
David confronts King Saul. Meanwhile, David tries to fix what he believes is a misunderstanding. He approaches King Saul to ask that he be allowed to marry Mychal, not Mirab. He believes Saul must have mixed things up. After all, everyone in the palace knows about his love for Mychal, but Saul doesn't see it as a mix-up at all. The king coldly reminds David that he's already done enough, lifting a lowly shepherd into a royal commander, granting him riches and promising a princess's hand in marriage. To Saul, David's request sounds ungrateful and arrogant. He refuses to change his decision. Saul's anger is rooted in pride and insecurity. He's aware of David's growing fame among the people, and the idea of David choosing who he marries feels like a challenge to royal authority. David, realizing there's no winning this argument, humbly accepts his fate, but asks Saul to delay the marriage. He needs time to adjust and hopes Mychal will too. Surprisingly, Saul agrees, buying David a little more time and keeping his romantic future uncertain for now.
Mychal?
Sisters torn apart. The tension shifts to the royal sisters, Mychal and Mirab. Saul, in a careless moment, lets slip that it was Mirab who asked to marry David. Mychal is crushed. She had always believed her older sister supported her love, but now she feels betrayed and humiliated. In a fiery confrontation, Mychal slaps Mirab across the face. Their relationship, once built on sisterhood and trust, fractures instantly. Later, during a tense dinner scene, Mychal symbolically pours wine for her sister, letting it spill over the table, a silent but powerful statement of her anger and desire to claim what was hers. Queen Ahinoam learns about the argument and scolds Mirab for making such a rash decision without consulting her. It becomes increasingly clear that Eshbaal, the manipulative prince, is whispering into everyone's ears, turning his mother, sisters, and father against each other one by one. This quiet corruption running through the house of Saul feels eerily similar to the early days of other tragic royal families, the kind where betrayal comes from within, not from outside enemies. The journey to Daan. As political drama simmers inside the palace, another important plot unfolds outside it. Eshbaal, seeking redemption, decides to marry Dinah, the woman he had promised to wed before his exile. This decision could heal his reputation and strengthen Saul's image as a just ruler. David, Jonathan, and Eliab accompany him to Daan, the city ruled by Dinah's father, Jair. But Jair, still furious from past humiliation, flatly refuses to let his daughter marry Eshbaal. It's David who saves the day. Speaking with wisdom and humility, he convinces Jair that forgiving the royal family and allowing the marriage would make him a greater man and elevate his own family's legacy. David's sincerity works where royal threats failed. Jair agrees, impressed by David's character and fame as the slayer of Goliath. The tension briefly lifts, but not for long. The ambush on the royal caravan. As the royal caravan departs Daan, celebrating the renewed alliance, disaster strikes. Out of nowhere, a group of black-robed men ambushes the party. They attack with precision, targeting specific members, especially Jonathan, who nearly gets strangled to death before David rushes to save him. The attack is brutal and chaotic, and though the royal guards manage to fend the raiders off, the cost is high. By the time the dust settles, Jair and his household are dead. The survivors return to Gibeah, shaken and confused. Saul orders an immediate investigation, but Abner finds no clear leads. However, the audience can connect the dots. These attackers look eerily similar to the mysterious group that once captured Eshbaal during his exile. Could they have been working with him all along? The timing is suspicious. With Yahir dead, Dinah is left without family or protection. The only person she can turn to now is Eshbaal, the very man who benefits most from this tragedy. Whether coincidence or conspiracy, the attack places Eshbaal in a position of new power and sympathy. In a revealing exchange, Dinah admits that she and Eshbaal had never actually been intimate before, meaning her father's earlier accusations were false. He had fabricated the story to ensure his daughter's marriage into the royal family. Now, with Yahir gone and Dinah effectively orphaned, the union will likely move forward, perhaps even as part of Saul's political strategy. But for Eshbaal, this is more than just a marriage. It's a foothold, another step toward reclaiming influence and perhaps even the throne itself. Adriel's arrival and a dangerous revelation. As the episode nears its end, a new and dangerous player enters the scene. Adriel, the chief elder of the tribe of Judah. Adriel's reputation precedes him. He has betrayed Saul multiple times in the past, always switching sides when convenient. So when Adriel walks into Saul's court, the king's first reaction is fury. He orders him to be imprisoned immediately. But Adriel has come armed with a piece of information powerful enough to stay his execution. He claims he knows the identity of the man that the prophet Samuel secretly anointed as the next king of Israel. Saul freezes. Ever since Samuel turned against him, the thought of a chosen successor has haunted him. Adriel's claim threatens to make that nightmare real. The elder insists that he saw Samuel visit a specific house in Bethlehem, a detail that viewers know is true, since that's where Samuel anointed David in secret. If Adriel reveals David's name, it could change everything. But the show cleverly ends before that confession is made, leaving the question hanging. Does Adriel truly know the chosen one's identity, or is he using half-truths to manipulate Saul for his own survival? The ending explained. Episode 3 of House of David sets the stage for an explosive middle act of the season. Every major relationship, father and son, husband and wife, sister and sister, has fractured in some way. Eshbaal's transformation looks increasingly suspicious. His connection to the black-robed men and the timing of the caravan attack both hint at a dark alliance forming in secret. He may be plotting from within, using charm and deceit to weaken Saul's rule from the inside. Ahinoam's power games and her role in Basai's death expose the decaying moral core of the royal household. Saul's paranoia grows stronger with every lie revealed, and his alliances grow thinner. David, meanwhile, stands as the only truly honorable figure, wise, loyal, and compassionate. Yet unknowingly, he's walking toward his destiny as the man Samuel chose to replace Saul. Our nerdy thoughts. By the end of episode 3, one thing is clear. House of David isn't just a biblical retelling, it's a story of ambition, faith, and betrayal at its most human. Every decision in this episode plants a seed that will soon bear fruit, some in blood, some in prophecy. And as Adriel prepares to name Samuel's chosen king, Saul's paranoia is about to turn into a storm that could engulf everyone, especially David. The stage is set for confrontation, divine judgment, and perhaps the beginning of David's rise from warrior to king. That's the full breakdown of House of David Season 2, Episode 3. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit the like button, subscribe to The Nerdy Show, and stay tuned because the next episode is bound to shake the kingdom of Israel to its core.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.